Good evening, everyone. Tuesday, a long day here in Sydney. It's been raining a lot, and actually, I came to Australia in 1996, and I came here for the sun. We haven't really had any during the summer, which is pretty shit. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about meetings. Again, we're going to come back to these 4 topics of connection, of inspiration, and alignment and feedback. And we're going to talk a little bit about the problem with meetings and hopefully give a few tips on what to do. I think one of the most important meetings you can probably have is with your team, one-on-one meetings. And I do the same thing with my team. But you should be having these team meetings as a way to help reduce employee turnover. You probably know that from many years ago, the cost of replacing someone is very high. So I think somebody said to me 10, 15 years ago that the cost of replacing a $35,000 a year accountant was something like $80,000, whatever. So using that same example today, you might have an employee on $200,000. It would cost you up to $800,000 to replace that person, simply because the time it takes to upskill, the time it takes to onboard and get them up to speed with the person that left. And of course, then there's all the other ramifications of the other person's left, so the impact that has also on the team. If your top performer leaves, well, everybody else gets scared and worried about, what about me? Is the company tanking? Is the company going down the gurgler? So what do we do? So of course, when you have people leaving, the whole point of having a great meeting is to help stop that attrition. So lost productivity is also another thing to consider, simply because new hires take a long time to get up to speed. We've got probably a 3-month ramp up period, and we're not even complicated. So I think that's a something to think about. I think there's some of the subjects that we're going to talk about. Hopefully, we'll give you a couple of tips on how to have those meetings and what to do. And you can start with your one-on-ones, like I said, and you can start with some simple questions around connection. And these will either stop the attrition or it won't. But I think in some ways it's time to go back to basics with meetings. There's too many in the diary now. COVID's put 30 to 40% more meetings in our calendars. Not all of those meetings are useful. Not all of those meetings should be in the diary, especially the ones that you would have had for 5 minutes standing in the kitchen at work. That's now turned into a 45-minute Zoom. It shouldn't be a 45-minute Zoom. It should be a text or a bloody email. So it shouldn't be that. So anyway, these 4 areas, we're going to start off with connection. Then maybe the next video, I'll do something around inspiration. I love that word. Then maybe something around alignment, and then something around feedback. But either way, I think, again, get back to basics. Time to start looking at some meeting etiquette. You can't turn up to a meeting with your camera off, because you don't go to meetings with your face turned off. So put your bloody camera on. If it's going to be a conference call, then the people that are leading that meeting, they should say it's a conference call and you don't need your cameras. So other than that, you should turn up with your camera on, because you don't go to a face-to-face meeting with your face off. Simple. So anyway, back to the questions. So here are some, there's 4 or 5 questions here that you could ask your team meetings in your one-on-ones, which hopefully might stop them leaving, and it would help you build more connection. The first question: in the past month, very simple question. In the past month, what have you been happy about? Very simple question, gets you lots of feedback. Question 2, the complete opposite. In the past month, what have you not been happy about? Very, very simple question to ask, but those 2 questions will get you quite a bit of feedback, which will hopefully get you more connected. Maybe they've got a team and you want to ask them how their team's doing. So a very, very simple question will be, how is the team doing? The feedback you get from that is kind of detailed, and it's going to help you to grow your business as a leader. 4th question may be, what don't you like about the current business or the current service that you're providing? Simple questions, great feedback. And maybe the 5th one might be, well, what are the things that you've done since you've joined the company that you're most proudest of? One of my favorite questions, and you'll love this. This is a way you will really get to see inside someone's head. It's a very question. It's a question that not many people think about. I always ask people what time you have dinner. And when you ask people what time they have dinner, they often go into telling you the reasons why they have time but they have dinner at 6 o'clock. Oh, got to wait for the kids to come home, got to wait for the husband or the wife to come home, got to do this, got to do that. So you get to see a whole series of things that that they do in their life that's important to them. So very simple. So anyway, hopefully those questions will help you build a little bit more connection. Next time, it'll be a little bit of inspiration. Have a great evening.